Does moving to Mexico live up to the hype in 2024?
We've been living in San Miguel de Allende for over 15 years, and we've seen firsthand how Mexico has become a popular destination for digital nomads, remote workers, and retirees. Today, we'll be sharing our experiences and what you can expect if you decide to move here.
One of the first things that struck us about Mexico was the cost of living. Compared to many places in the US and Europe, Mexico offers a much more affordable lifestyle without compromising on quality. When we first moved here 15 years ago, things were much less expensive than they are now.
It was really a lot less expensive than today, but when we compare it to where we came from, even today, the cost of living in Mexico is a lot less expensive than our hometown of San Francisco and many other parts of the world. The prices have gone up drastically since we arrived. I remember buying a taco for 8 pesos, which was back then about 75 cents because of the exchange rate. And now that same vendor is selling tacos for 30 pesos. So that's now $1.50. So if you just compare the prices of tacos, the prices have doubled.
Yeah. Do you remember what it used to cost to go to the movie theater?
The cost of the movie theaters, I do remember, it was 40 pesos.
40 pesos. And now it's 70 pesos, I think, when we last went, like a couple months ago.
Yeah, so 70 pesos is $3.50 at the current exchange rate.
Yeah.
It's more expensive, but again, we've heard that in the States it's much, much higher than that. We'd be curious to know what you pay in the United States to go see a movie in the movie theater. Leave us your comment below. That would be interesting to find out.
Yeah. Although you can't compare the theaters in the States to the theaters here. I think the theaters here are more of your basic, theater, surround sound. It looks great, sounds great. But from what we saw in a recent video on YouTube was a couple who went to a theater.
The bed theater.
And it had like a bed and covers and, delivery to your bed with food and beverage. And so, yeah, we don't have that kind of theater here, but.
That was in Bangkok.
And that was in Bangkok. It wasn't even in the US, you're right.
And I think they paid $28 equivalent. So a lot more, but you're lounging in the bed. So.
Yeah.
And they do have VIP theaters nearby in Querétaro, and the last time we went, I can't remember what we paid. So I'd say maybe 180 pesos, $9, $10.
Yeah, maybe we can insert down here how much, or up here, how much that theater costs today to compare.
Another video that we could do that would be interesting is to compare grocery costs in Mexico versus other parts of the world. If you'd like to see a video about the cost of living in Mexico and other retirement destinations and how it compares to the cost of living in the US, let us know in the comments.
The weather here is another huge plus. San Miguel de Allende in particular has a fantastic climate with warm days and cool nights, perfect for outdoor activities most of the year with the exception of maybe a 2-month period in the late spring where it gets a bit too hot and it's getting a little hotter and hotter every year. But besides those 2 months, the rest of the year is pretty darn comfortable. Like right now, it's beginning of August and it's 76 degrees today outside and the high of 81. I'm checking my watch because I have my my app on here on my Apple Watch. It's a low of 52 degrees, which is perfect for sleeping, high of 81. And we are in the rainy season this summer. It rained most of July, and now in August, it's raining on and off, not all that often.
Yeah, you can't beat the weather here really right now this time of year. It's beautiful. It's not too hot, not too cold, like you said. And sunshine, we are in the rainy season, as you mentioned, and despite that, we get sunny days almost every day. On a typical summer day, the clouds will roll in and the storms will come down heavy, but then the skies clear up and we get the stars and it's fresh.
Yeah, it's insanely green and beautiful wildflowers everywhere and the air is fresh. and you can see as far as the mountains. We'll insert a video of what it looks like in the mornings here.
Another aspect that makes living in Mexico special is the vibrant culture and sense of community. We were welcomed with open arms by the local community. It's easy to make friends here.
You can be as active as you like. There are different clubs you can join, different organizations. There's lots of nonprofits to volunteer for. There's women's groups, there's men's groups, there's sporting things you can do. There's anything and everything that you enjoy doing. You can find your tribe and find people who like to do the same things that you like to do. It's very, very easy, I think, to make friends here. Unlike other parts of the world, for example, in our lives in San Francisco, we didn't know who our neighbors were. We never spoke to our neighbors to the right or to the left of us. It's just the way it was. And here you really get to know your neighbors, and you wave hello to them, and everyone's friendly and nice.
Yeah, for sure. I guess one drawback to that is that you really can't go anonymous if that's your thing.
Yes.
You know, as soon as you walk out the door and you hit the streets, guaranteed that you'll run into at least 5 people that you know, which is a lot of fun for us because it's entertaining, we interact, we chit-chat. But if you want to be left alone, maybe Mexico wouldn't be the perfect place for you.
Or maybe because we live in a smaller town. If we lived maybe in Mexico City, for example, maybe you could be more anonymous there because it's such a big city. But here in the small town that we live in, we just, after having lived here for 15 years, we know a lot of people. And so, yeah, you can't go to the grocery store real quickly and, with your baseball cap on and hope that nobody recognizes you, because somebody will inevitably recognize you.
One thing about the local community that has impacted our experience here in San Miguel is just thinking back to when we first moved here and we didn't know a single person. Within a few days, we were making friends already, and everybody was very helpful in making our transition to San Miguel as smoothly as could be.
Yeah, you make one friend, and then that one friend introduces you to all of their friends, and before you know it, the group of friends just keeps growing and growing. And we find that not just the foreign community, but also the local people are very inviting. And if you walk by, they will invite you into their house if they're having a party, and come on in, have a cup of coffee, kind of a thing. So we've found that the community is very friendly and welcoming. Healthcare is another important factor for anyone considering a move abroad. Mexico offers excellent healthcare options at a fraction of the cost that you would pay in the US.
What has been your experience with the healthcare system in Mexico?
Well, I think you're asking me because I've had more medical issues while living in Mexico. Been hospitalized once a while ago now. It was in 2017, and I caught a bug and I got really sick. I was becoming very ill, so I had to go to the hospital. And I think that we got some, good medical care that night, because we went in at 2, 3 in the morning. It was, we called our doctor, he met us there. Yeah, I spent a couple of nights in the hospital. Everything was great. It's not exactly what you're used to in the US, in that you need to have a family member with you that stays with you overnight, and they're kind of the ones that are, what would you say?
They're your nurse. There is a nurse that comes in and checks vitals once in a while, but
yeah.
If you need anything besides that, you have to have a family member or a friend there with you spending the night. And I do remember the room that you had was a private room with a bed next to it. I think it was a bed, or was it just another
No, it was
patient
a big couch.
bed? Oh, it was a couch. And I slept there all night and was perfectly comfortable.
Yeah.
It was a nice experience.
And we got treated nicely, and our insurance worked, and everything got paid for. And so that experience was a really good one. But then I recently had another experience where I have an injury to my hip that unfortunately I need a hip preservationist doctor to see, and there aren't any in Mexico. So I had to travel to Houston for my hip issues that I'm still dealing with. Maybe when I need my hip replaced in the future, I would consider doing that in Mexico. But if I want to save the hip that I do have, I would have to go do that with a doctor in the States or wherever I can find a hip preservationist.
One good thing about the healthcare system in Mexico is you can go straight to a specialist. You don't have to jump through the hoops of going to your primary physician to get a checkup and then a referral to a specialist. You can go straight to a specialist. The downside to that is that you have to find your own specialist. You have to do your own research, and you really have to do your due diligence and be really satisfied with the physician that you do find. And most recently, we're going through that for another procedure that you're about to undergo. And that's going to be in another video, so we won't get too much into detail there, but we really had to work hard at finding just the right doctor for the procedure, which we did find in Mexico City. So we're happy about that, and that's coming up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, living in a small town, although San Miguel is not that small, it still is a small town, and you can't always find the perfect doctor here for everything. So sometimes you do have to go outside of San Miguel to Querétaro, to Mexico City, to find the specialist that you're looking for. Or sometimes you have to travel back to the United States as well. Honestly, that's just the truth.
Yeah, and that's why this is another topic, but we have an insurance that is for United States citizens living abroad, and this is anywhere in the world, and you do have to choose your home country, so our home country is Mexico. And then you pay a supplement to be covered in the States. And so our health insurance covers us worldwide. We can choose the top doctors anywhere in the world. We haven't quite let that go for that reason, that we aren't completely convinced that we can find everything we need outside of the United States. But that might change in the future.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on, we can't forget about the food. Mexican cuisine is diverse, flavorful, and absolutely delicious. From street tacos to gourmet dining, there's something for everyone.
Living in a town like San Miguel de Allende, we're very spoiled with good food here because we have a little bit of everything from Asian to French to Italian to Mexican. So we can have almost anything. There are a few things that we can't get here, but we can get a lot of variety. But overall, I think the food is really good. And there's good, taco stands. So if you want to, eat inexpensive, you can, or you can go out and fine dine and spend a lot of money doing that as well. So there's both extremes and everything in between. Overall, moving to Mexico has been a wonderful experience for us. While it's important to be aware of the challenges, the benefits far outweigh them for us. If you're considering making a move, we hope our insights help you make an informed decision.
After 15 years of living here, we feel really comfortable here.
Yeah.
Mexico has become our home. If in the future we decide to do something else, I think we'll always want to come back to San Miguel and make this our home base. It really is a special place to live.
If you have any questions or if you want to share your own experiences, please leave us a comment below.
And if you made it this far, that means that we held your attention, and it would mean a lot to us if you subscribe to our channel. It does help us to grow the channel. And ring the bell if you want to be notified whenever we upload a new video.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks.
Bye.